So another interesting and important concept is about learning and iterating. The fact that, along the way, there would always be things to learn. We don't need to be discouraged by the fact that we don't have all the answers, right? If you think about it, if you're going from Lagos to Ibadan, you have your direction, Your goal is to get to Ibadan, right? But you don't see the entire route from the beginning. All you see is maybe the next 1 kilometer, or the next 2 kilometers. And you just keep going, then the next 1 kilometer unfolds, then the next 1 kilometer, etc. You never see the whole picture from the beginning. But you successfully get from Lagos to Ibadan because you have that clarity of purpose and you have direction, right? And that's how life unfolds as well. So it's important for us to be open to learning and also to iterate, because, I always have this saying that there's no failure, only feedback. Whatever obstacles you face, give you information, give you data to work with, to think, what can I improve on? How can I do better? And we have some great examples. Android, which powers a lot of the phones that we have in the market today, did not start the way it looks right now. When the first version of Android had quite a few bugs, right? And then, there have been a lot of iterations so far, based on user feedback, based on experience, etc., to refine the product and get it to what it is today. Even WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp didn't start as the app that we have today. It started as a status app, right? Which was just an opportunity for you to set your status on your phone. But when it first started, now the founders, spoke to their friends and they cheered them on to say, great idea, this thing would work, And what it was you had to, set your status, but there was no way to broadcast at the time. So people had to go to your profile to see your status. Of course, you can tell that would be a drawback. But at the time, their friends cheered them on. And so they released it into the market. And the results were disappointing, right? The uptake was not what they were expecting. But they, kept at it and just, observed the signals that they were getting from users. Around that time, Apple released push notifications, so it was possible for you to broadcast your status to people rather than them having to go to your profile to see your status. So that was an important milestone. And based on that, what they found then was that people were using the functionality not just to say, to talk about my current status, but almost like a messaging app. So to say things like, I just arrived in Australia, or I just arrived in Lagos, that sort of thing. So, putting all those signals together and learning from the market and all that, they found that actually there was a unique opportunity to create an app that had better functionality than your normal SMS messages, so some rich functionality, but was also low cost, right? So putting all the strengths together, they were able to iterate and evolve the product to what we have as WhatsApp today. So that's an example. And if you look at most success stories today, there have been steps along the way. Some of those steps have been painful. There have been learnings. Sometimes there have been failures. But eventually, if one takes all the feedback, takes all the learnings, maintains the course, eventually you do get to success. Now, starting from the bottom, these are some interesting quotes as well that I like to share. Henry Ford, he said a lot of things in his time. So these are all by Henry Ford. Failure is simply an opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Why? Because you now have data. You have insights, you have information, you have learnings. This is true for organizations. It's also true for personal life, right? When we come across things that appear to be failures, let's just think, what is the message here? What am I supposed to learn from this? Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Again, one of the things that stops us is just the, feeling like the task is very daunting. But if you remember the analogy about going from Lagos to Ibadan, and all you see is the next 1 kilometer, the next 1 kilometer, basically all you need to take is the first step, then the next step, right? And things unfold. So if you divide into what's the next, and then the next, and then the next, something that may seem very daunting becomes actually quite within your grasp. And then it's great to talk about vision, right? But without execution, without a solid plan behind it, it's almost like wishful thinking. So it's great to have that inspiration. And then we need to then look at, perspiration, doing the work. And this is where organizing for success comes in.